What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the NECA Predator Jungle Hunter Predator. Here you have the original Predator in the packaging. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get him opened up, and then we'll have a better look at the Jungle Hunter Predator. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have the Jungle Hunter Predator posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what he comes with, because he does come with quite a few accessories. For starters, the Jungle Hunter Predator does come with two different head sculpts. He does come with a masked head that he has on him outside of the packaging, which looks really good. And then he also does come with an unmasked head, which looks just as good. He also does come with a helmet that he can hold. This helmet does not go on the head. If you want him with the helmeted head, you're going to have him with that specific head. But both heads look really good on him. He also does come with two pairs of hands. He comes with a pair of open palm hands. And then he also does come with a right fist hand. And then he also does come with a left grasping hand for holding some of his accessories. Jungle Hunter Predator also does come with a trophy skull, which looks really good. You can have him holding it in one of his open palm hands. And then he also does come with a skull and spine, which he can hold in his grasping hand. His final accessories are his backpack and his plasma caster, which looks really good, and they did include a blast effect for the Jungle Hunter, which I am really happy about. Other than that, he really doesn't come with anything else. I don't know what more you'd want the classic Predator to come with, but he comes with everything you need him to have. With that out of the way, guys, let's actually take a closer look at the Jungle Hunter. And so here we have a closer look at the Jungle Hunter Predator, and he looks really good. I really love the classic look for Predator here. You can see he's sporting his mask, which looks really good, really accurate to what it looked like in the movie, although it is missing the little attachment that it has right here, which understandable why they didn't include that. One thing I'm not really a fan of are these blast marks on his helmet. I think this figure could have done without them, and if I knew if the color of plastic this was, I don't know if it's silver plastic or paint, I would be able to take those off easy, but my fear is that it's a silver paint, and if I try cleaning that off, the paint will rub off, so I really don't want to do that. You can see he does have his laser scope right here, which looks really good, and then the blacked out eyes. Really iconic look for Predator here. You can see he does have his dreadlocks right here, which are just black with the gold accents, and they do look really good. I am really impressed with how these look, and they are a nice soft plastic, so they do get out of the way. Moving on to his details, you can see he is adorned in trophies. If you look right here, he actually has some trophies. We have a spine right here, which looks really good. It's just draped all around his body. Then he has some more trophy skulls right here, which I believe we have seen these before on other Predator figures. But it's still a really nice addition. And then, of course, we do have his bone necklace. And all these do come together really, really well. You can see his armor is your classic Predator armor, which I do like, and I don't like that it has some of these blast marks. They're stars. I don't really like the stars on his armor. They don't look natural. I think NECA could have done without it, but that's just me personally. He really doesn't have silver. It's almost like a copper color that his armor is made of. The only silver part really is in his head, but I really do like the color of his armor. He does have this little tube running down from his shoulder to his torso now. Just like all the other Predator figures that I've reviewed that use this body, you don't want to get crazy with this arm because you will end up tearing that little tube. And I've already done it on several of my Predators, so just be really careful with that. We also do have a little tube that runs from the back of his arm onto his gauntlet. And the gauntlet does open up, which I really do like that. And we actually do get a countdown. Really love that NECA was able to put the countdown in the gauntlet. Moving on to this side, we have that little piece of shoulder armor. Then we have his wrist gauntlet with the classic wrist blades, and I really do like that. The wrist blades do extend outwards, so when you want them swiping at something, you can have them with that, and they look really, really good. I really love his cream color with a dark browns. It looks really good. I've always been a fan of the classic Predator design. Going on to his armor, you can see we have more of that copper armor for his thigh guards, which is done really well. Although this side is a little bit warped. It's supposed to sit flush. I can take a hairdryer and actually close that off, which I probably might do that in the future. Going on to the rest of his armor, we get more of that copper color and more of those cheap blast marks. They don't really look good. If NECA had made those look natural, I'd be a little more forgiving on it, but it doesn't look natural. It looks stupid, honestly. I don't know why they went that route. But overall, I really do love the design of this Predator. There's really nothing I would want more added to it. Although if I could subtract something, it would definitely be these little star blast marks, because they're really not that great and I really don't like them. But anyway, that's the Jungle Hunter Predator for you. So what we're going to do now is actually get him compared to a few other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Jungle Hunter Predator posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have the Jungle Hunter Predator posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have the Jungle Hunter Predator posed next to the City Hunter Predator and the Ahab Predator. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now, Predator here does have a double ball, well, a single ball peg, but it's a joint that goes into his head, and it gives him really good range looking up and really good range looking down. He can tilt his head side to side really well, and then it does swivel left and right. Although on mine it is a little bit loose on the swivel, but looking up and down it's pretty tight, so I can forgive that. His arms are on ball joints. They both would go out to about that far. This arm is hindered by the armor, but you can get his arm up. Not too far though, because you don't really want to tear that tube. He does have a swivel which goes all the way around. Same thing here, but again this tube is going to limit your articulation, and about there's about as far as I'm willing to push it. So he is a little bit hindered on the left side. He does have double bend in the elbow. He has a swivel at the gauntlet. He has a swivel and a hinge in the wrist, which works really good. He has a ball joint in the torso, which goes back about that far, comes forward about that far. We have a secondary ball joint down here in the torso, and using both of them together, goes back about that far. Going forward, not too much, but you don't need this Predator doing too many fancy things. Legs do go forward to about there, go back. It is hindered by his loincloth. They go out, all the way out, although you want to be careful with his thigh guards right there. You don't want to warp those. He does have a rotation at the thigh. He has a double bend in the knee, which works really good. He gets really good range there. And then we have a ball joint in the ankle, so we do get some rocker ankle going side to side. Goes back, goes forward, as well as rotates. So overall, really good articulation here on the Predator. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Jungle Hunter Predator pose for my final thoughts. Overall, I am really glad to have the original Predator in my collection. Although this is a mold I've seen about 3 times already, I'm still really excited to have the classic Predator in my collection, because he is a really iconic character, and I'm really glad to have the iconic Predator in my collection finally. Now, this is the second run for the Jungle Hunter Predator. NECA did actually reissue the Jungle Hunter and City Hunter Predator, which unfortunately I did miss out on the first release. Thankfully, I was lucky enough to snag the second issue, and I know there are some differences between the two versions, mainly in the sculpt. I really don't have them to compare, but if you can find this Predator in stores, I really recommend you pick them up, especially if you're a fan of the original Predator series like I am. I was lucky enough to get my Predator from my local comic book store, so huge shout out to Black Sheep Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. Although if you don't have a local comic book store, Target is starting to get the Predator from Predator and Predator 2. So if you are looking for them, be on the lookout because they are starting to hit store shelves right now. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Predator videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And while you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell for new notifications every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.